seek all of your blessings as well as seeking the blessings of Krishna and all the acharyas. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminati Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I want to start with this beautiful story, which is a lot of insight with whatever we just now talked about. So there was a lady who had she was very poor and she was hardly earning any money there. Sorry, Prabhu, I can take it. You can put it here, no problem. So she had a habit of whatever she would earn, 50% she will donate or she will give back. So her son, he asked, can you explain me? You hardly earn anything. We are literally hand to mouth, and on top of it, you're giving 50% as a donation to, whatever you're donating it, you're giving back. Can you explain me why you do that? So she said, you know what, I'm not an intellectual person. I heard Lord Brahma, he has a forehead. I just have one head. Why don't you go and ask him? He said, okay, great. I'll go and ask Brahmaji. So while he is going and approaching Brahmaji, definitely he was be a powerful soul, or his mother would be a powerful soul. Then she's asking him to go to Lord Brahma. None of us can approach Lord Brahma. So he was going to Lord Brahma. On the way, there was a king. He said, "Where are you going?" King, he said, "I'm going to Brahma. I have some question." King asked, "I also have a question. I'm puzzled with it. Can you find out the answer for that one?" This guy said, "Okay, anyhow, I'm going. Let me take another extra question here." So he said, so he asked King, "What is the question you have?" So King said, "I built a huge water tank. Irrelevant of however much water I put in, there is no leakage in that, but the water disappears. Can you ask the Brahmaji, why is it like that?" He said, "That's an interesting question." So he took it along with this question. So he has got two questions so far. Moved forward, there was a tree. So tree spoke to this person. He said, "Oh, I have a problem. I heard you are going to Lord Brahmaji. I have a question. You see, my tree is very glorious. You see so many leaves, so many this, but I don't have any fruits. Can you ask Lord Brahmaji, what is the mistake I did? I don't have fruits because I'm not able to give fruits to others." He said, "Okay, I'll take this question as well." So now he has three questions. He moves forward. There was a snake. Snake spoke to this person. "I heard you are going to Brahmaji. I have a question." He said, "What's the question?" He said, "This is the hole I entered in, but I'm not able to come out of it. I was able to enter, but why I'm not able to come out? Can you ask Lord Brahmaji?" So this person finally reached to Lord Brahmaji and asked him a question. What is the question he asked him? He explained his question. This is going to be a two-way communication so that it's not looking like I am the one who is speaking. So you'll help me what we discussed. So what is the first question he had? Why you are giving 50% back? Can you explain me? That was the first question he had. Who was the second question? King. What was the king's question? Water tank. There is no leakage in that, but whatever water I put in, it just disappears. What is the third question? No fruits. The tree is asking. What is the fourth one? I cannot come out. So he told him all the questions. So Brahmaji said, "Go and tell the king he has a daughter. He didn't want he is not willing to get her married. So tell him you get her married." So understood. So how about the next? Who was the next question? Tree. He said there is unlimited amount of jewelry inside, just underneath the tree. Ask the tree to give it up. There'll be fruits automatically coming. So he has a treasure which is underneath that. So he said, okay, what is the third question? Snake. Actually, there was another person which I forgot to mention. So these four questions, and there was one more question. So he went forward before coming to Brahmaji, and there was a man who was not able to walk. He was disabled person. So he asked, what is the reason for this? So anyway, so Lord Brahma, while answering, he told about the tree, about the snake. He told him, this guy has a money on his head. He was able to get in, which was fine without the money, but now he had a money he doesn't want to give up. Ask him to give up, and he'll be able to come out. The last person, who was actually this crippled person, what did he say, Lord Brahma? He's a very knowledgeable person. He has a lot of knowledge, lot of gyan. Ask him to distribute it. He'll be perfectly all right. He said, okay, all four questions you answered, but what about my question? He said, you go and convey this information. Your question will automatically be answered. So anyway, he came little disappointed. अरे मैं पूछने को, all of you understand Hindi? मैं पूछने को आया, मेरे को मेरा सवाल तो हुआ नहीं, बाकी सबका हुआ. Okay, let me continue. So he went to the king, said, you should get your daughter married. King said, yeah, I've been puzzled with so much period of time. I couldn't get the answer. I think you are the wisest person. You get my daughter. I'll get my daughter married to you. So he became indirectly a prince of whatever was a kingdom. He went to the tree. अरे what is my problem? He said, अरे मैं किसको दूंगा? तुम ही बैठे हो, तुमको दे देता हूँ. So he gave it to him. You take all the treasure. He came to third person, which was snake. अरे किसको दूंगा money? I give it to you. He came to fourth person. This person, whatever knowledge he had, he distributed to him. Now, what is the moral of this story? He got the answer he was looking for. He was like, why you are distributing half of your money? In giving, we receive. That's the moral of the story. Whatever we have, if we keep it with us, will not give us the value. But when we distribute, when we give it to others, that's where we gain the value. These are the principles of Bhagavad Gita. Krishna not only spoke this Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Don't think that Arjuna was in the war field. I am not in the war field. Very interestingly, I'll tell you the problem statement. In Satyuga, the demons and devatas, in Hindi, if I were to say devata or danav, they used to live in different planets. When Treta Yuga came, and very interesting, I told you last time also, ideally Dwa means two, Treta means three. But if you see from the yoga, Treta comes first and Dwapar Yuga comes second. I'll cover that mystery also today. Just remind me again. So in Treta Yuga, they're living in the same planet. When it came to Dwapar Yuga, they were living in the same house. When it came to Kali Yuga, they are living in the same person. So, what is the meaning of that? The meaning of that is you understood the English philosophy called as good dog and bad dog. This is how the relation comes from there. So, there is Duryodhana within us, there is Arjuna within us, and there is Krishna within us who is guiding. The problem statement which Bhagavad Gita is trying to solve in the modern world, to hear good dog. What Bhagavad Gita is trying to do is, which dog is more powerful? Whoever is fed more. So, what is happening with whatever work we do, whatever energy we have around, gives so much of negativity, it feeds the bad dog. That's why we have a problem about time management, we have a problem about stress management, we have so many problems. There are bodily problems which we know, but one problem which are the problems created by mind, we none of us can solve that without Bhagavad Gita. Even medical science cannot solve mental problems. You see, I'll tell you another real story actually. This happened in IIT. I forgot the division of IIT. The suicide ratios were going really up. And all of you are very well educated at a very high position. You know what it takes to reach to IIT in India. अरे तुमको इतना knowledge है, you went to IIT, why are you doing suicide? So the the chairman committee came together and they said, oh, we have to do something about it. There are a lot of suicides happening. Can we do something about it? So they said, yeah. So they notice that a lot of people are doing a suicide with the fan. Okay, they tie the rope and we'll remove the fan, we'll put the AC in every room. That is a problem statement. What is the problem statement? The suicide rate is high. We will do the solution, we'll remove the fans. Now what had happened? The suicide ratio even doubled. How? पहले तो fan पे मैं we ought to hold the rope and all that stuff. Now it's AC, which is such a high power. If you touch it with the current itself, you will die. So this is a problem on this world we are living in. We don't try to solve the problem at the root level. We try to solve the problem at the surface level. Right? That's why a lot of people go to basics on Ayurveda. Why? Because Ayurveda does not see a headache. Hold on. Why you have a headache? Let's don't try to get rid of headache. Why you are having the headache? They talk about the root problem, and that's where the thing. Bhagavad Gita is laid out to solve this root problem. Why am I suffering? Why are we here to answer these questions? First and foremost, who am I? So great, we are at a very high position in so and so company, but the question is that was I same person 50 years back, 30 years based on your age, whatever? Well, not. Or maybe for some of us, we moved from one company to another company. So my identity was earlier I am so and so, but changed. And when I die, I lose that identity altogether. Right? So am I that person? Certainly not. If you take from a science perspective, we talk about every cell of our body changes, and you see sometimes you have a bruise or anything, you have scratch, and then few days it becomes white and disappears, which means we are changing, we are not the same person, right? So our first question, who am I? Bhagavad Gita attacks that, clarifies that. Who am I have to understand that piece first. Second, who is God? Unless we understand who is God, we will not be able to solve the problem. And third one is, I understood who am I understood who is God. What is my connection with God? What is my relationship with God? That's the third question. And if I know my relationship and now which is broken, how do I revive that relationship? Right? If I have to give you an allegoric story, a father, a trillionaire father, went with his child, with his son, to circus or some whatever parties are happening. He lost his father, and father lost his son. And now this son is begging on the street. I need roti kapda makan. I need food. I need shelter. So the child is begging. And one day he came to see his father. Hey, I was searching for you. Father says, come back. And he becomes a CEO, CTO, whatever it is. This child is none other than all of us. Begging is a very small word, so please forgive me about that. But to be honest, from morning to evening, we are begging. If you have to connect to that, why do I work 9 to 5? Today is Sunday. Please forgive me. At least that's my situation. I don't want to go to work on Monday. I don't know if you're enthusiastic about going to work. Why I have to go? Because I need to be paid. Why do I need to be paid? Why do I need health insurance? We were talking about. I have to maintain my family. Right? We take care of our kids. They grow up, and now they get into some things which are not good for them, and then we beg, please don't do that. And then we reach to a certain age, we have to beg, doctor, please cure me, right? And when we get to a certain age, our digestion system doesn't work. I can't eat, I can't get energy. It was a very elevated soul who was speaking at 1 p.m. class, and she was sharing, she's 75. She was telling, I lose my memory, I sometimes don't remember. She's a very powerful sage. That's happening to us as well over the time. And history repeats itself, right? We don't have to say our ancestors, they were there at a certain position. Where are they now? One time, our founder, Acharya Srila Prabhupada, asked Henry Ford, who was actually the owner of Ford company, he said, so you are son of Ford company, like you're son of whatever, so and so person, I think Amrish, or I forgot his name, Henry Ford. Said, yeah. Prabhupada asked, where is he now? What is the answer? I don't know. Do you know where your ancestors are? You know where Hitler went? You know where, or whatever people you talk about, whatever the names are there, good or bad way, where are they now? They became history. The problem of independence, which I was messaging, I just thought about it. What should I reflect on? Today is an Independence Day. We are talking about independence. Many years back we got. Do you think we are independent now? Well, maybe. Are the problems solved there? There were problems A there, now there are problems B. Right? So many lives were taken away just by a bacteria COVID. And now in LA, just a fire. And nobody knows even till date where that fire arose. There is one lady actually, a PhD or someone, she actually did a research. So there is this I just got to know a couple of days back, and she produced some artifacts on that. I'll find out if I have one. Someone shared with me. So they had a voting system, whether God exists or no. So the vote actually went to God doesn't exist. And especially those people, especially those one who voted first, they are not there. They caught up in LA fire. They are dead now. If you know about Titanic, the manufacturer of Titanic, you know what was his slogan? Titanic is a ship which even God cannot sink. You can go and search on internet. That's his pseudo statement. Even God cannot sink. What happened? In the first trip, there is not a big thing happened. It just crashed to small ice, broke. The point which I'm trying to bring in is not God as being a cruel factor, but the point which I'm trying to bring in is the concept of having faith in God. That's the most important part. So when we start studying Bhagavad Gita, what is the outcome? Like, for an example, you make a beautiful pizza, wonderful pizza with a lot of toppings and all that stuff, and you give it to children and they eat. What is the outcome out of it? They feel hunger is satisfied and they feel this was great. One example. So what is the outcome of Bhagavad Gita? Well, I read, I understood, there are so many things. What do I gain out of it? My love towards God. And I should have these questions clarified. Who am I? Who is God? What is my relationship with God? And if I lost my relationship, how do I revive that relationship? This will be the focus of whole Bhagavad Gita when we start discussing. Right? So with that, we would like to start the first verse. I should have noticed or I should have mentioned, any of you have Bhagavad Gita, or I'll get it from down. Do you have at home, or you have that copy? You have it? Okay. So I'll bring it now. Whoever doesn't have, it's just $10. If you go to Starbucks, you pay like $7 just for a coffee. So this is just $10 for great. So I'll bring those copies right now so that we can read from Bhagavad Gita. I'll use online and then I'll share that. So just give me 2 minutes. I'm going to go and grab some copies from there.
Where did you say you work?
In Mercedes Benz.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah. I work at Ford, and these three are GM.
I used to work at Ford.
Ford, yeah, you
I also
familiar.
used to work at Ford,
Familiar.
but yeah, after Ford I moved here.
Oh, you did Ford. Yeah.
He has some blue blood.
She also worked at Ford.
I mean, here in Detroit, I mean,
It's
majority people will be in automotive either as OEM or supplier, but majority.
Yeah, most of the
Most of
company,
them.
most of GM, Chrysler, Ford are the ones who hire most of the people here. Yeah, Mercedes, Volkswagen, they're big now. Toyota was also there in Ann Arbor. I don't know if they're still there.
Research center.
Is it?
Yeah.
So the three of them. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh, I have.
You'll share? Okay.
Yeah.
You brought it? Same one we have.
I have at home maybe next month.
Yes, that will be wonderful. Thank you, Prabhu. At least for today, we will use that. So we will be going to chapter 1, text 1, and I'll share my screen 1 second. Can you find it?
Page number?
31.
31. Okay. Just take some water. So how is this Bhagavad Gita laid out? There are three important sections or four important sections. You can spell that out. So one is there are shlokas in Sanskrit which you see on the top. Then there is the same verse, there is same shloka in English, and then word by word translation. That's the third section, and the sorry five section. Then the translation. What is the literal meaning of that? And then some explanation about that thing. This is very important because that's where we can understand the application of Bhagavad Gita. So here is what you will do. Even if you do not know Sanskrit, that's okay. If whatever way you can pronounce, we will do call and response. So I'll read one line and you can read one line. This will bring harmony in your life. So it's very, very important to read Bhagavad Gita, especially reading Sanskrit from Bhagavad Gita. So we'll read first one. Dhritarashtra Vacha Dharmashetre Kurukshetre
Kshetre Kurukshetre
Samaveta Yuyutsavaha
Samaveta Yutsava
Mamaka Pandavaschaiva
Mamakaha Pandavasya
Kim Akurvata Sanjaya.
Kim Akurvata Sanjaya.
We will read the translation. Who can read the translation for me? Any of you?
I can.
Go ahead.
Dhritarashtra Uvacha, King Dhritarashtra said, Dharma Kshetra in the place of pilgrimage,
Mhm.
Kurukshetra in the place named Kurukshetra,
Mhm.
Samaveta assembled, Yuyutsava desiring to fight, Mamakaha, my party, Pandava, the sons of Pandu, Cha, and ever certainly Kim, what, Akurvata, did they do? Sanjaya, O Sanjaya.
Beautiful. Can anyone else read translation?
I can read.
Go ahead.
Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do?
Beautiful. So the first thing, just I know we spoke about that last week, but just to collect the thoughts here, Sanjaya is the disciple of Vyasdev. And we spoke about what is the role of Vyasdev last week. So maybe we'll cover some other time, but we just set up a context about why are we reading Bhagavad Gita and why how did we read to Bhagavad Gita? How did we reach to Bhagavad Gita? So we covered that Mahabharata. Krishna tried everything for not to have this war happen. But finally Duryodhana decided Dhritarashtra, because he was not only blind by eyes, but he was also blind by attachment. He did not, or let me rephrase this. He did not know how to discriminate what is right and what is wrong. That was a problem statement, and that's why this war is happening. And now the both the armies are assembled together. Here Sanjaya, who is disciple of Vyasdev gave him a vision that he can. Hastinapur is the place where they are living, and Kurukshetra is far, not very close. So he was given a vision. He can visualize and he sees and he hears everything which is happening in the war field. So Dhritarashtra is asking these questions to Sanjaya, and very important concept, very deep. What is he saying? After my sons and sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage, we will dissect this part. You know what is a problem statement of the world today? I, me, and mine. Why there are countries fighting with each other? It's a very broader problem statement, but there is a very small thing attached to that word. This is my land. This is my area. If you are to give an example, all of us are coming from Indian backgrounds, or Maybe you will be able to connect. If you're not, so please forgive me. In India, the street dogs, there are lanes, they live in that lane wherever they are living. If the dog comes from another lane, this guy barks. Why? Hey, this land belongs to me, you don't come here. But that's an animal, right? We are human. We are supposed to be sophisticated by our thought process. But what is the problem? I, me, and mine. What you see on the houses outside, if you pass through it, they will call you 911. Why are you passing my land? But this land belonged to someone else. One time, there was one sadhu. Earlier times, these rishis or sadhus would come to king's palace. So king invited, come, you stay with us. So sadhu said, okay, I'll stay with that. So he was staying, and after 3 days, he said the king came to him. Everything okay? Like it is like my kingdom is treating you well? He said, okay, this is your kingdom. He said, yeah. Who was holding this kingdom before you? He said, my father. Okay. Who was holding the kingdom? Who was the owner of this kingdom before your father? My grandfather. So he said that's a concept in Dharamshala also. You know the concept. You know the word Dharamshala. You know the word Dharamshala. When you, yeah, the place which is considered to be the place where you hardly pay any money, not like hotels today. I think that concept. I don't know if that still exists, but it used to be before. It is there. Okay, beautiful. He said it's the same concept. I go, stay in a room, say this room is mine, but after a few days I leave. So that ownership never belongs to me. So you are not the king. You're thinking like that. This is a very important concept. So until we understand the concept of getting out of I, me, and mine, we will live the life of the Dhritarashtra. The point is not that I shouldn't say that. That listen, when I got, there was one of my teacher mentor who was teaching me Bhagavad Gita. He gave me a book in the gift. Um, no, actually, I saw his books. So when I saw the first page, we opened it. You know what he wrote? Generally, what is our habit? We put our name because otherwise it will mix with the other, right? So I want to understand which is my copy. You know what he wrote? He wrote under the care of, his name was Bala Govinda. So he wrote under the care of Bala Govinda, and that hit me hard. Hold on, I want to understand this concept rather than putting the name under my care. And I asked him this question, and he clarified everything is in this world is given to us to take care of. We are only the caretaker. So one say, no, I built my car, I bought this house. Okay, so when you leave your body, are you going to take your car with you? Nobody is going to take car. Forget about the car. There is another story on that, and this is where, because it's easier to remember these aspects by story. So there was a king. He he wanted to find out who is the Mahamurkha. Murkha means what do we say in English? Very unintelligent person. I don't know what is the right word for that one. So he appointed his soldiers to find out who is the most stupid person on this kingdom. So they went such days after that, and finally with a lot of interview questions and all that, they found there was one guy who was completely dull. So they brought him here. So king understood that this guy is a dull guy. So he said, okay, I'll pay your salary and you live your life. Okay. So that life was going on. After some time, the king was on his deathbed. So he called everyone, whoever was doing different jobs, and assigned them, this is the thing. So he asked that, bring that guy who's completely dumb-based guy. They brought him. So he said, what happened, king? He said, I'm dying. So you don't have to work. You find out another dumb guy. You hand over the stick to him. He was given a stick. And then I'll give you pension for rest of your life. So he said, my dear king, you are so sweet. I'm just being. So when you go, you will take your elephants and camels with you, right? Because it's such a far journey you have to go. How will you walk? The king became angry. Don't you know when I die, I'm going to leave everything. I cannot take my elephants and animals, all the things which I have. creator, whatever I own. Okay, but you would need a company, right? Going back, so you will take your wives with you, right? He said, no, you're such a dumb guy. I can't take even my wives with you. So what is so someone has to be there, right? You will take kingdom, some money you will take. King became very angry. Like, what are you talking about? He was very angry. He said, you just get out, find out the next dumbest guy, and then you just leave from there. So what did he do? He gave that stick to a king, same king. King said, what are you doing? He said, before this context, so king's kula guru, the guru, he actually tried to preach him, but this guy was not listening. He was busy enjoying life. Everything is going great. So this person said, actually, I'm the disciple of your guru. He appointed me
To find it.
to teach you a lesson. What is that? I am not a fool, king is thinking. But the reality, king realized, Are, I am a fool. I am thinking, this is my position, this is my house, this is my property, this is my bank balance, here is my 401k, here is my properties in India, here is what I've invested, here are my shares. Are, I'm not going to take even a single penny with me. So actually, I am a Mahamurkha. So, I, me, and mine concept brings you tags. In Hindi or in Sanskrit, we call as upadhis. What is upadhis? False designations. False designations. I am person A, I am person B, I am person C. It keeps switching. And I realize until the last minute, like someone comes on this door, they knock the door. The death does not come by knocking the door. Can I come? No, 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 I don't. I have some other things. You get out. No, not now. No. One time, a funny story. Yamraji took out a printout and went to take souls. So he came to one tapri. In Maharashtra, there is a concept of tapri, which is, if I were to spell that out, chai wala. So he went there. This chai wala served him very nicely. And he got to know over the time that this guy is none other than Yamraj. Okay. So he said, Yamraji, you must be tired. You take a rest. You've been working day and night. You take a rest. Yamraji became, this guy is so nice to me. I'll lay down. So this person, Chai wala, Tapri wala, he saw the list. Interestingly, he saw his name on the first. That's why Yamraji came to him. So he saw this name, his name first. Arey, abhi to gaya main. What is going to happen? So what did he do? He cut his name, put it at the end. He said, great, job done, tension nahi hai. Yamuna ji uthe. This guy offered me so much of hospitality. I see his name first. What should I do? Let me change today. I'll start from bottom. The point which I'm trying to bring in with this concept is the death doesn't come by knocking the door. However smart we think we are, however higher position we may have, however bank balance we have, unfortunately, death is a reality. If I believe or not, any product I buy from Walmart or Costco, it's a manufacturing date and expiry date. I also have an expiry date. Everyone else also has an expiry date. But the question is how we live our life. In a way, there is a beautiful saying, don't try to see God, but try to serve God in such a way that He wants to see you. He wants to see you. I'll give you a beautiful example. Prabhu's from Pune. I'll share my hero's example, whose name is Tukaram. Do you know Tukaram? All of you heard about him? Very powerful sage of Maharashtra. Very well known because he would write poetry in Marathi. One time, he was worshipping Lord Vithala, who is none other than Lord Chaitanya, who is none other than Lord Krishna. Was in so much of love with Vithala, he would just sing his glories, and when he would sing, would just melt everyone's heart. He had a wife. Wife hated Vithala Dev. Why? Are my love is being divided here. He is attached to Vithala, I am attached to him. So it's because of Vithala he doesn't love me so much. So she was it. So one time she was going in search of Vithala. अरे खाना देना है मेरे को, उसको lunch लेके. So she was taking the lunch, and she fell down on in especially this part of where he was living. There was a lot of hills, so he was on the hill somewhere chanting Vittala's name. So she was going and she fell down, and Vittalji was there. He said, I'll help you. She recognizes Vittalji. She said, I don't want you. He said, Are, we both are searching for the same person. I am also in love with Tukaram. You are also in love with Tukaram. Let's go and find him. She said, No, you get out. Because of you only, he doesn't love me. This is a point of try to serve God in such a way that God wants to see you. One time, Tukaram's example, he was a very poor guy. One time, his wife said, Do some work, man. So he was given a job of protecting a field of his neighbor, that the animal should not eat the field. So he was protecting the field, taking care of it. But his problem, whatever we call it, as it shouldn't be a word problem, but his problem was he was in so much love with Deva, he will start singing. And what had happened is the animals ate all the field stuff, whatever they were not supposed to. So this guy went to Panchayat, his village association. Or because of this guy got a loss and all that stuff. What do we do? Whatever is the loss, sell his house and whatever comes out. So you have to calculate the loss and then give the property. Vittalji already had nothing but whatever house was there. So he removed the crop. Very interestingly, his crop compared to last year, the sale was double than the last year. अरे how's that? सब जानवर तो खा गए, कहाँ से आया खेती? When someone loves God, there is a Hindi saying, I'll say that if you don't know, maybe I'll speak in English also. What is that? तू अगर काम में तो मैं अपने धाम में, तू अगर नाम में तो मैं तेरे काम में. What is Lord saying? If you are chanting my name and if you are in love with me, I'll take care of everything in your life. However, if you are busy at your work, I'm happy in my dham. Very important concept. Coming back to this verse, I'm not taking any diversion. These contexts are very important. Here, what is Dhritarashtra saying? Sanjaya, my sons and sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight. What did they do? Because Dhritarashtra is saying, Jaldi batao. My sons, and if you know, we were just discussing about that. Dhritarashtra and Arjuna both went to Krishna because Krishna has to be on one side, right? So Duryodhana, when he came first, वो भगवान के सर के पास खड़े हो गए. He just stood near the head. And Arjuna came later and he was standing near the feet. Whenever we open our eyes, ideally you see what is there towards your feet. So he saw Arjuna. Duryodhana said, नहीं, मैं पहले आया. I should get what am I looking for. He said, no, I saw Arjuna first. Whomever I see, I'll offer. I have two options. Either you take my 11 Akshaya Sena, which is basically like as powerful as Krishna, or you will get me. I will not pick a weapon. I will not fight. So Duryodhana was worried. अरे पता नहीं वो ले लिया तो मैं तो गया. Material calculation. What will happen if it's something? What did Arjuna said? My lord, I don't need your Sena. I want you. अरे but I'm not going to fight. You are there. That's all sufficient for me. Duryodhana said, What a fool, number one guy. He was internally laughing, but externally, Are, jo aaya mere haath mein, whatever I gave. That's what he was thinking about. And what happened, we all know Mahabharat end. Who won? Not Duryodhana's party, but Arjuna's party won, though Krishna did not fight. Well, he did. Now, this is another thing. I'll tell you this thing. So, there was another powerful Kshatriya. I forgot his name. Please forgive me about that. He is very well known actually. So he was coming, and then his problem was that whoever is a losing party, he will fight on their side. So if Pandavas are losing, he will fight on Pandava side. That was his work. And if Kauravas are losing, he will fight on their side. Krishna thought he is very powerful, and yeah, this is not right. So Krishna met him beforehand. before he actually even getting into any of these sites. So Krishna asked him, "Arey, kya chal raha hai, aise kare?" And Krishna asked him, "I want to ask you something. Will you give?" He said, "Yes." He said, "Give me your head." He gave your head. He gave his head because Krishna asked. He said, "But I want to see this battlefield." So Krishna put his head on the mountain. So at the end of the war field, someone asked him, "तुम तो सब देखे, right? You had a vision because Krishna gave you that vision. Who was fighting?" Krishna was fighting. Very interesting thing, right? Krishna was fighting. Kyun? Because wherever we will read this in 18th chapter, wherever Krishna and wherever Arjuna, there is victory. When Arjuna, towards the end of the war field, Krishna asked Arjuna to get down from the chariot. Arjuna get down from the chariot. His chariot was completely in shape towards the whole battle. He asked Arjuna, "Tum utar jao." Arjuna got down. Krishna got down. When Krishna got down, the chariot broke into pieces. Chariot broke into pieces. Arjuna asked this question, "Arey, what is that, Krishna? I was just standing, you were standing." He said, "So many powerful Kshatriyas. Do you think their arrows were going for in vain? No, because I was there. Now, जब भी मैं उतरा हूं इधर से, now you see what happens." This is the power of being on Krishna's side. This is the power of bhakti. What is the role Krishna took? He did not take a role of, "Oh, I will guide you what to do." I am anyhow not fighting, right? A lot of times we want to be manager, we want to be senior manager, we want to, sorry, not telling you, but director, VP. I will guide you, you do it. Krishna could done that, right? What role Krishna took? Very interesting. He took a role of chariot driver. If we are to talk in today's world, Uber driver. And even if you were to go down, I don't know if you have traveled in Uber in India, those are regular drivers. Here, people are earning for this, but there is like very like taxi drivers, right? Let me put it this way: Krishna took that role. You know how to communicate in the battlefield. This is like billions of people fighting at the same time in the war field. How is Krishna going to listen? Arjuna says go right or left. So the pattern was Krishna will kick, Arjuna will kick on his right shoulder of Krishna, which means go right. Back means go straight. Left shoulder means go left. Krishna wants to take that position. This is the highest love. So here, coming back to this verse, we will just quickly read because I like to end on time and start on time. So Bhagavad Gita is widely read theistic science summarized in Gita Mahatmaya, which is glorification of Gita. There it says that one should read Bhagavad Gita very scrutinizingly with the help of a person who is a devotee of Sri Krishna. This is a very important qualification. You don't go to Amazon and buy any product without reading the reviews. You read the reviews who have used their product and their life has changed. So if I'm reading or hearing Bhagavad Gita, it is very important that person who is writing Bhagavad Gita is he in love with Krishna? Please forgive me about quoting this. I just heard this today. There is a very important person which is so there and on so many channels, Sadhguruji. He is very famous. He was asked, he said, "I never read Bhagavad Gita. I don't have a guru." Hold on. Where is your basics coming from? Where are you speaking about it? Everything in spirituality has to have the basis of scriptures. I cannot speak anything like that. It has to have a base. किसके base पे मैं बोल रहा हूँ? For an example, I go and read my books, medical books, and I come and tell cancer patient, "I will cure you, I'll take care of your operation, just 10% of money. You don't have to pay millions of dollars." Will you go to them? No. Are I have a severe disease. मेरे को problem है. I have a problem. If you are qualified, then only I'll come to you. We do everything in our material life. We validate. When we apply for a job, what do they do? Review. What? Background check. Why? Am I hiring a genuine person? There is so much money spent on hiring a right person. Why? If the wrong person comes in, then spoil everything. We buy everything in material world. ये बराबर है कि नहीं? 10 people have to say this is guy. Even if you go to the doctor, you want to find out even basic. I have a fever. I want to go to a doctor who is right, who knows how to do. Why? Because there has to be some strong base. When these people are speaking or when we are hearing, I need to know what is his credential. Where is he speaking from? What is his qualification? I don't hear any Tom, Dick, and Harry. This is very important. So that's what is being mentioned here. Who is devotee of Sri Krishna and try to understand it without personally motivated interpretations. The example of clear understanding is there in Bhagavad Gita itself. In this way, the teaching is understood by Arjuna, who heard the Gita directly from Lord. If someone is fortunate enough to understand the Bhagavad Gita in the line of disciplic succession, what is disciplic succession? He's a guru. Who is his guru? Who is his guru? Who is his guru? I should have covered that. Maybe next week I'll cover. Bhagavad Gita preface covers about the whole disciplic succession. So Lord Krishna, he created Brahma. He gave this knowledge to Brahma. Brahma gave this knowledge to Narada, who was his son. Narada gave this knowledge to Vyasadev. Vyasadev gave further knowledge. So this comes in disciples. Not that I wake up and I become a guru. Doesn't happen like that. It has to have a credential. For an example, if I say I'm PhD, are what university? Why it is important? Because I just, of course, PhD is anyhow high level. I need credential, boss. Where are you coming from? Right? This is very important. One will find in Bhagavad Gita all that is contained in other scripture, but the reader will also find things which are not to be found elsewhere else. Next paragraph. The topic discussed by Dhritarashtra Sanjay as described in Mahabharata form the basic principle for this great philosophy. Next paragraph. The word Dharma Kshetra, very important, is significant because this was happening in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And Supreme Lord Krishna himself is on the side of Arjuna. Dhritarashtra, the father of Kurus, was slightly doubtful. Why? Because he knew Dhritarashtra was not an ordinary person. He was still an intelligent guy. Dharma will favor Pandavas. Why? Because they are dharmic. So he was doubtful. Okay, what is happening? That's why he's asking. So he did, and he was thinking that maybe Pandu will come. So that's happening actually. Maybe I think I'll end with this one and we will continue this word because I just don't want to rush through. Yudhishthir Maharaj, when the war is about to start, he gazes down from the chariot and he goes to Kaurava's side. And everyone is puzzled. What is he going to do? Bhima is thinking, अरे मेरे भाई जाके सरेंडर तो नहीं कर रहे हैं कि नहीं चाहिए लड़ाई तुम ले लो जो भी चाहिए. So he was worried. Everyone was worried on Pandava's side and everyone worries on Kaurava side. Well, not worried, but let me just cover this aspect. So Duryodhana is thinking, डर गया देख के, आके he is going to surrender to me. He is not going to fight. He's thinking that way. And Dhritarashtra, when he gets to know Sanjay, tell, is he there to surrender? So what does he do? Very interestingly, he comes to seek the blessing of Bhishma Dev, and who was his guru? Dronacharya. And Dronacharya and Bhishma Dev both gives him Vijayi Bhava. What are they saying? Vijayi Bhava. You may become victorious. Are they're on the opposite side. तुम्हारे दुश्मन लोग हैं और दुर्योधना is, what are you speaking, man? You guys are on my side. You are giving him a victory blessing. Blessings have a very powerful thing which we don't realize in our life. More we have blessings in our life, we will be able to we will have to climb the Himalayan mountain. That's the power of blessings. What was there on Pandava's side was blessings. And what was there on Kaurava's side were just curses. Was just curses. We were just mentioning about last week when Dhritarashtra's wife Gandhari, she get to know, she was thinking, if मेरे को अगर पहला बच्चा हुआ ना, then he will become the king. Because ultimately Dhritarashtra was elder one, but he did not get the kingdom because he was blind. So Pandu को दिया. Pandu छोड़ के गया, then he had to rule until Pandavas grew up, which he didn't want to give up now. So now Gandhari was thinking, if my son is born first, he will get it. But what had happened? Kunti already begot the son, Yudhishthir Maharaj, from Dharmaraj. So she hit her womb very hard. It's from ancient time when mother is expecting. It is said you should read Ramayana, you should read Bhagavad Gita. Why? Why? You you inject that idea into the baby. That's what happens, right? Arjuna's son, how did he enter in Chakravi? Because he listened that inside while Arjuna was speaking to his wife, right? Abhimanyu was speaking to, sorry, Arjuna was speaking to his wife, right? At the time this had happened. So, coming back to this point, when this kind of consciousness Gandhari had, what kind of child is going to be born? That's why it's very important to collect the blessings. You see, in the same concept of Ramayana, there are three places, and I'll end this with this. Sorry, this is the last one. There is Lanka, there is Ayodhya. These are two parts. If you see even the geographic, and Kishkinda is in between. Ayodhya is Sanskriti, not I, me, mine. Ayodhya is the concept. How can I serve? You see, everyone, you all know Ramayana. Every person in Ramayana, how do I serve other? What is Bharat doing? How do I serve Ram? What is Lakshman doing? How do I serve you? What is Ram doing? How do I serve Sugriva? Everyone, you, I want to serve you. I want to serve you. We don't want to be a servant. That's what the material world is all about. But what Ram Rajya is? I don't want to be the owner. You be the owner. I want to serve you. So that's Sanskriti. What is Lanka, which is completely opposite? Vikriti. You see, everything in Ravana's kingdom was Chori Kamal, if I were to say it in Hindi. Everything he stole. Even that plane he stole from his brother. His wives he stole. Everything in Lanka is Vikriti. Why? I, me, mine. And what is Kishkinda? Prakriti. What is Kishkinda? Prakriti means sometimes we go this side, sometimes we go this side. Bhagavad Gita is helping you to move this side, to build Sanskriti. Give that culture to yourself and your kids. Give your family that culture, not the old age home concept. Mom, you are very nice. Now you stay in old age home. No, that's Vikriti. Because the children are not being trained to be this. School never teaches this system. This is our responsibility to teach, to become Sanskriti, not Vikriti. And Bhagavad Gita is helping you to build that platform where we become Sanskriti. With that, I would like to end here. Any final questions or comments? Anything you would like to share or ask? Anything. You like something, you are welcome to share. This is two-way reciprocation. I just want to understand whatever I spoke, was it meaningful? Whatever I did not speak correctly, please forgive me and correct me there.
Yeah, I think one of the things you were talking about attachment. So one of the example I heard from the other podcast is you own a Mercedes Benz.
Hmm.
If somebody makes a scratch or something happens, you go through really
Hmm.
stressful situation
Hmm.
to deal with that.
Hmm.
Suppose instead of that, the same car you rent it out
Hmm.
and you have all insurance on it.
Hmm.
If the scratch comes to the vehicle, do you feel the same thing? You don't, because
Hmm.
it's all covered by. So the first one is attachment, the other one is not attachment.
Hmm.
So we have to treat like it's a rental car, the whole thing.
Ah, very good. This is same Dharamshala concept.
Yeah.
This is all leased. What we leave is the world of leased place. I'm at the leased place. Everything I have is leased. I'm just a caretaker. Very difficult to apply in life. I'll be very honest.
Yeah, it's just an example. Like we all rent car with the full insurance, and we also have a car when somebody makes dent.
Yeah.
So it's just we can connect it.
Just want to share something. This is a real story which happened. There was an American father, very rich guy. He bought a very expensive car. His daughter wrote something on the car with the key outside. This guy became so angry. I forgot which news it came to. He beated her so much she was hospitalized. And of course, 911 is called. This guy is jail. But before he is going, he gets to know his daughter. This actually made me a little emotional. She said she wrote, "Dad, I love you" on the car. This is a problem. We have to understand that our emotions are misled. We don't understand what is right. So we need to have the emotions based on Bhagavad Gita. Very good point. Thank you for sharing. Anything else you would like to share?
I have one thing, like you talked about the first story where you, like, we should give what we receive, give it back to the society.
Yeah.
I have also heard one side of the concept where if you give something and if that is used for a sin, are you also contributing to that sin?
We will read a very important verse in Bhagavad Gita where Krishna talks about, thank you for bringing that, charity in mode of goodness, charity in mode of passion, and charity in mode of ignorance. So there are three modes. We will talk about that in detail. And where Krishna explicitly says that everything comes from Bhagavad Gita as long as it is taken from there. Charity done at the right time, right place, and to the right person is goodness. Charity done at the right place but to a wrong person and all that stuff is this thing. So if I give a knife to a doctor, he may use it, of course. Knife, they may not use it, but just want to bring that from the allegoric story, right? He can use it to cure a patient, but at the same knife, if you go to a thief, or if you go to some terrorist and all, they'll use it for wrong purpose. That's why it's very important that charity has to be done. And that's why when I started Bhagavad Gita, I use three terms. That's very important. And Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita, Hari Om Tat Sat. His meaning is, I am just an instrument. You are the creator, you are the doer. So sometimes, and again, I'm not saying you give a wine bottle to someone thinking that Hari Om Tat Sat. No, that's not the concept. But even with the right mood, you give to a person whom you don't know, but if you utilize for wrong purpose, and this is reality, you incur sin. And to spell that out, the king, the president, whoever are the ruler, they get 50% of the sin of their praja or citizen. What does that mean? Whatever is happening in the country, that position is the worst position because you're getting 50% of the karma. And that's why you see in Krishna's pastime, there was a Brahmana who was, the child was born and he was getting dead. So he went to Yudhishthira Maharaj, he raised the question, there is something wrong in your leadership because I'm losing my son. The son should not die before the parent dies. If the son is dying, which means you are doing something wrong. That's the that's the level of that leadership is so important. So again, sorry, don't want to distract, but good you brought this up. That's why we have to be careful what we are distributing, what time and all. We will cover that in detail. Thank you for bringing that. Divyanshu Prabhu, you want to add something? Wonderful. Mataji, you want to add something? We call Mataji because it's out of respect. Don't think that you are very elderly. Because that's a misconcept people have. We call the man Prabhu. You're the master, I'm the servant, and then Mataji is out of respect. Would you like to add something? You're good. Wonderful. So thank you all for your participation. Shila Prabhupada ki jai. We will continue next week. Thank you, Mataji, for joining. There is one person, Momida Mataji, she joins from Toronto. So we will continue next week, Saturday, right at this place. Bring your Bhagavad Gita. If you don't have, you can grab one copy. Yeah. So we will read that way because even holding Bhagavad Gita, oh, it's very, very auspicious. Very, very auspicious. So it's amazing. Like before coming to ISKCON, I was just, oh, people had a concept. Krishna brought Bhagavad, or Krishna brought war. If we bring Bhagavad Gita at home, then the wars will happen at home. No, that's not the thing. Bhagavad Gita is very, very pious thing, and that's how all auspiciousness is showered on people who actually contribute towards Bhagavad Gita. Perfect. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much. I'll take this one. I'll buy
Yes.
it from there.
Yes. I'll show you where you can pay
Yeah,
the
yeah, sure.
Lakshmi or whatever. Thank you so much, Mataji. I'll add now. Thank you. I'll just end
Can keep it
this.
here.